to Sistaz Talking Ish. I am Tiffany Hughes. I'm here with my sister. This is Miss Kalia and this is Miss Selena. We're going to talk about some just regular, everyday type subjects. So, ladies, how we doing today? Guess what today is?
It's 313
It's
Day.
313 Day.
We in this thing.
For those who didn't know, we are all from Detroit. And the area code in at least Wayne County is 313. So it's March 13th. So we are celebrating Happy 313 Day.
What up, though?
So, where are you from in Detroit?
Okay, so West Side.
You know what's that? Where?
Outer Drive in Sorrento.
I did not know that.
You know that? Yes. We moved to Southfield when I went to high school.
Okay, so
originally from Detroit.
Okay, that makes sense. That's because I was like, I thought you were from
originally
Southfield.
from Detroit. Yeah.
Where are you from, sis?
The East Side.
The East
The East
Side.
Side.
What's your
Whittier,
street
Cashmere
now?
area.
Okay.
That explains a lot. I feel like it's just it's all coming full circle for me now.
But I didn't get to go outside, and I was in private school, so it doesn't really count. You know.
You said you didn't get to go outside.
But I feel like you have a little something that I feel like you oftentimes suppress, and I think that's the East Side in you that is sometimes it like creep out.
Yeah,
when it comes out, you're like, whoa.
It seeps on out.
So I'm from the West Side too.
Really, what's your street?
Grand River and Greenfield.
All right. I know the area very well.
So this is our very first podcast, and we're going to be doing this weekly, right?
Weekly.
Okay. And I think it's a good idea that we kind of share that not only do we all have in common that we are from Detroit, but another thing that we have in common, which kind of led to our podcast being called Sistaz Talking Ish, is that we are sisters. We're all sisters. We're all sister-in-laws. And that is because a long time ago, we made a decision to marry these Negroes that also happen to be brothers.
Yes.
So you got one,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got one, and then you got one.
Yes.
Whew. How did we get here?
I mean, I can tell the story, but
I kind of want to hear it now.
I do too.
well, I met him in 2000 at Fate to Funk. So
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
almost didn't happen because I told him no. When he asked me for my number, I said that no, thank you. I'll take yours. But then we ended up meeting each other later that evening at a hotel party that your husband was having,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where we reconnected. Yes.
Why does it not surprise me that your husband asked you for your number and your response was no, thank you? No, thank you.
Yep.
Very polite.
No, I didn't say no, thank you. I said, well, I'll take your number, and he said, oh, you ain't gonna call, and just kept moving. Yep.
You said, I'll take that was a classic, like, fresh off movie.
Yep.
So, I'll take your number and no intentions on calling.
Exactly.
And I knew your husband just as a friend up at Michigan State, and then your husband introduced me to my husband, who we met in '99 at a party at MSU.
I think this is all extremely interesting because in real life, I am thankful that I did not know my husband when y'all knew my husband. So I think it's funny that you met your husband through my husband and you met your husband through my husband. And meanwhile, if I would have met my husband when y'all met my husband, he wouldn't be
your husband.
He wouldn't be my husband. He would not be my husband.
You met a later version.
I met a much later version of who he became and who I am thankful that he did become. But we met at work.
Oh, wow.
And we was creeping around in the office.
Ooh.
Behind the closed doors.
Nice and spicy.
Office affair.
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, a lot of people didn't know we were dating when we worked together, and we tried to keep it like very much so on the low. And I specifically recall one time we left work together and we left in one car. And then when we came back to work the next day, people were asking questions like, why was your car here all night? Like, where did you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know that guy like that.
Right. You just gave me a ride home that time.
I don't know, right?
That car would start.
He just pulled up to my bumper.
Oh, I thought I was saying pull up to the bumper song.
All right, y'all. So let's talk about our first topic. We were talking yesterday about women, Black women in particular, in self-image. We were talking about certain celebrities who may have been involved in some type of augmentation type procedures, and then it goes all the way wrong, or why do they even do that? I think one of the things that prompted it yesterday is I was in the car with my husband and my mother-in-law, and we started talking about Lil' Kim. And she was just saying how she saw her in person and she just looked so much different. Then I started thinking about, like, why do people do things to that extreme, right? Why do people keep on getting surgeries over and over again to look like other people or to change something about themselves? So what do you think, ladies? Like, why do people get extreme augmentation? I'm not talking about, okay, you get your boobs done because you always
Okay,
wanted
I was
to.
about to say, because I would like
I'm
to get my
talking
stomach
about,
taken
like,
out
extreme,
and my
like,
arms trimmed down a
complete.
little bit. But I don't think that's extreme.
No, I'm
You
talking
don't
about
think if you just said
extreme.
you want to get your stomach taken out and you don't think that's extreme?
Well, I'm
take
saying
it out.
you know, like a little stomach out. You know what I mean? I didn't ask for ribs. I just said a little stomach.
Oh,
You want a
okay.
little stomach
Just a
out?
little stomach out.
A little midriff out.
Yeah.
Mm. So
Can we come to this?
So I think it depends. I think people start off small and then they just end up kind of working their way up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think initially when people start to do plastic surgery or start to get things done to their body, I don't think they ever imagined that it would lead to where they end. Like, I don't think people like Lil' Kim, I don't think she meant for it to go as far as it did. I think it started off small and then you start to tweak a little. It's kind of like
pick yourself apart. Like,
yeah.
maybe she, you know, when she got her nose done or whatever, she said, "Oh, I should have got a little bit more taken off."
Yep.
And then she got to the point where she went so far.
You think it's like you never satisfied?
And that could be it too.
Once you do something, it's like, oh, I should have done that. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
I think it's kind of like even like remodeling your house, right? Like, have y'all ever did something to your room and you like, okay, so I'm just gonna change this one thing, and then the more you start changing stuff, the more you like, you know what? I actually don't even like the original bed, or I don't even like the original. So now you got a brand new nose,
Like a whole
a brand new face
that don't look nothing like the original.
No,
because you done replaced your boobs, and then now you decided that your boobs don't look right with your old nose.
And you know what? She probably does. And I think another problem with why her face looks the way it does is she has bad makeup artists. Because I have seen her recently where she had a really good makeup and she looked nice. She actually looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sometimes that she doesn't when she has a lot of the powder.
Sometimes she get real draggy.
Yes.
Yeah, it can be overdone. Okay. So do you think that's particularly a problem in the Black community?
No. You see,
it's widespread. No. That's what I'm saying. So it's the thing about women, about us.
Right.
Maybe we're trying to conform to some type of imagery, right?
And I think a lot of it got to do with social media.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because we have all day long, we are fed these images. And it's like, if we don't fit that image, you have to be a really strong person and comfortable with yourself. Then if you're a person of means, why not change something that you don't particularly like about yourself, you know?
Even when you think about the filters. Like, at this point now, you can use the filter to even make yourself look different. Yeah. So it's like, damn, so you mean to tell me I can just go to a doctor and get this permanent filter put on my face?
Yeah, I mean, I've considered it.
Okay, so what would you get done?
I mean, I just told you I would like my stomach out. But the thing is, if I get my stomach taken out, then my arms got to match. Because I can't stand with people that got no stomach and big arms. Like,
and then you might find if you do that, you might be like, okay, I need something else to match. You know?
Well, I don't want my stomach in my butt. Right?
You what?
So you'll see as time goes on. I say really things sometimes. Things are a little ignorant. I don't want my stomach in my butt.
Gotcha,
so, right?
Okay.
I just want it gone.
You don't want your stomach in your butt?
Right. I just want it gone.
This is like what she just said a second ago. She was going to have her stomach taken out.
Yes, I just want it gone. I would do that. And that's about it.
What you don't like about your butt? You want a smaller? I thought
No, my butt is fine.
She doesn't want
I don't need to do the transfer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just need them to take it out. You know, a little tummy tuck.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Lop it off.
Little nip and tuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would you get done?
I don't know. Actually, I'd probably get my butt done.
You would?
I want a little more back here.
So you would?
You can ask me. I want a little something back there.
What about when you get older?
What about it?
Like, would you do something to your face? Like, would you get like a facelift?
I know my friend who her mom just got her neck done, and it looks really nice.
Really?
So I don't know. It would have to be heavily researched.
Mm.
You know, I would have to go to somebody who I know would make me look crazy, but I don't know. You never know.
So I feel like I would get a lot done. I feel like I would get my boobs done. I definitely want what you don't want, which is I want you to take it from my stomach and I want you to put it all in my ass. I don't want you to leave one drop out. I want you to take it all from one place, and I need you to put every drop.
So you want it to be bigger?
Yes.
Bigger than what it is right now?
It's not
But I'm just saying. So you want a big? You want a ghetto booty?
Like she want a big like.
You want a big old ghetto booty?
I don't want a big old ghetto booty. I just want like a little ghetto booty.
You want apple booty.
You want it? You want to make it clap? You want it big enough where it can do like that?
So I mean I can make it clap now. But I would want it so that I would want it so that it kind of like clap by accident. How you just
you know how you girls be walking with a sundress on and then clap,
yes.
clap. That's what you want. Okay.
We're somebody be like, what's that noise? I'm just in the kitchen like scrambling up the eggs.
They do it today. But I think the point is that if given the opportunity, you would change something about yourself.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
And especially like I can imagine like when I get older, I can imagine wanting something like I don't know that I would do a whole facelift because they have to cut. That's like some face off shit where they
cut around here,
pulling and stapling. But I would want to do like maybe like a little like Botox, maybe a couple like fillers.
I can see you doing that.
I might be a little Kim. I got carried away.
I can't see you going that far.
8 things already.
But you know the girl that
I just realized how this happens.
You know the girl that had the gorilla
head.
So the person that did her surgery, this black doctor, this one white lady went to go see him, and she had a big forehead. Do you know he pulled her?
Her scalp down? Her hair?
Girl, her forehead was like this, and he pulled her forehead down.
And now she look like Teresa Giudice.
Did she look crazy?
It's not that bad. It looks really good.
Like she got a lace.
And no, it looks good. He cut around here and just pulled her forehead, pulled it down, and stitched it up. And she got a small forehead.
There is hope.
So those, I mean, I got a big forehead. I considered it. I told Ash Jamie, how would you feel about me?
Putting your forehead down.
Putting my forehead down. He wasn't with it, but I mean.
I wonder if I feel like in that kind of field though, I feel like men would probably be his number one clients.
Yes.
Because I think it's a lot of men with receding hairlines that pay a lot of money. Like LeBron James should probably pay to get his forehead pulled down.
He needs
a
a whole unit. Well, he did have a unit, and it started to scoot up when he was playing basketball.
I remember that. Like, but if he went to the wrong person, he could come to the dick.
He wouldn't have them problems if he just had his forehead pulled down though.
But it's more
in
up
the
in
middle,
here.
Though, he's like,
it's like some action going up at the top. It's unfortunate.
But he got the money. He can figure that out if he wants to.
Allegedly.
Let's go ball. Next topic. What's our next topic?
We're going to talk about relationships.
Yes, toxic relationships. So why do certain people gravitate to toxic relationships? Do you know anybody who like they just stay with the wrong person? They like relationship to relationship is always some type of a toxic factor in the relationship. I know about 3 people I'm thinking about right now. But why do people end up in that vicious toxic cycle?
Because he the one that's paying for the Brazilian booty lift.
That's true. And then a lot of it has to do with low self-esteem, the serious aspect of it,
Yeah, there's a definite mental health aspect to that as well.
Yes.
And some people are chronic fixers. Like they need to be with somebody
so
who
they
will
can
fix them.
Yeah.
Or it's money, flat out.
Yeah.
Flat out. You just listen, he's taking care of you and you just overlooking all the other stuff.
So, okay, so I'm going to pose a question to you guys since now that you said that overlooking. So,
because I think Chris in the comments is making a good point when she says it's toxic patterns. And I think it does kind of all tie in. I think that those same sort of people who do have the low self-esteem that would get all of this plastic surgery over and over and over again are the same kind of people who end up in broken relationships with men who don't treat them well.
Yeah.
And they know how to spot them.
Yeah.
They know how to find
It's that predatory behavior.
Yep, absolutely. And so how does that pattern get broken?
Therapy.
Through your mama.
Therapy, self-awareness, talking.
I think your mama got to fix it.
Your mama got to fix
Your mama?
How did you, okay.
I think
So
it's
how as
something.
parents can we assist our kids if they end up in that type of cycle?
Oh, look at it right there.
I
I just said your mama gotta
and
fix it,
easy escape.
and Chris just came through with the assist.
We got a therapist in our
Okay. That's our other sis. She don't want to be on camera with us, but it's okay. We love her.
But it is true though, right? Like I think a lot of times I think parents raise their kids and they don't want them to be maybe too conceited or too cocky, so they don't want to give them too much, you know. I know like one of the things that I still struggle with now, when I was growing up, my mom wouldn't allow people to compliment us. Like if someone would say, yeah, no, she hated it. So if someone would say to her like, oh, your daughters are really pretty, she would say things like, oh, it doesn't count for anything. And like we never even had the chance to say thank you because my mom would always combat the compliment. I think that parents worry that their kids will think that that's all that they have if they pour too much into them. But I think it's the opposite. I think the more that we raise our kids and pour into them and instill that they are great and that they are beautiful and that they are brilliant and that they are all of these things, then they won't be so broken when they get out into the real world where they're looking and seeking validation from people who are not capable of giving it to them.
Yep, absolutely. Pouring into our children so that they are breaking these patterns, breaking these generational curses. All right.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
But I think, particularly with younger people, I think there is an issue because people see what they see on television. So they will accept certain things from guys, whether if he has money. So whether he is beating them, cheating on them, whatever the case, if he's still able to provide for them and give them the things that they want, they'll overlook it and continue to be in that toxic cycle until they get to an age where they get older, and then I'm going to say it's too late, but at that time they're trying to sometimes, you know, especially with the celebrities, they tend to spin out of control. That's how I feel.
So we got Excel in the comments, and she says parents can be toxic, and it normalizes toxic behavior for people.
Yep. So if you don't recognize the behavior as toxic, that's just the way it always is for you. You're just carrying on what you've always
seen.
But I think one of y'all mentioned it, right? One of y'all mentioned therapy. Somebody said therapy is the way to fix it.
Yep.
And I think that that's just it, because in reality, if you can't fix it within you, then you don't even know how to pass it on to somebody else.
Absolutely.
So another piece that I kind of want to piggyback off of this conversation is a lot of us have recently been like binge watching a lot of the old TV shows that we used to watch back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And we used to watch it back in the day and think stuff like, oh my God, they were in love, or this is so beautiful, or this is what I want. And then when you're watching it as an adult, you like, this nigga is right.
Or like how recently everyone started to watch when Girlfriends, the full season came on.
And I think looking at it completely different.
You're looking at it different because you're like, Joan is tripping. Like, what is Joan?
Like, Joan, I understand why you.
I was working watching it furious. I'm like, I didn't. And even though I was still an adult when it came out, I was still a young adult.
Yes.
So I don't have the same lenses that I do now that I did then, because I wasn't as irritated with them then. Yeah.
And I think I think Joan is a good example, because not only did her toxic relationships with men end up being a highlight of her life, but she had toxic relationships with her friends that were just as awful.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's true.
Because Tony couldn't have been my friend after episode 1.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my girl.
She was horrible.
Like the second you show up to my house with my ex, I don't care if we went to Applebee's one time in band camp. You can't date him.
Off limits.
And she showed up with him at her house like it was no big deal. Like it wasn't shit. Like they was just in the neighborhood.
But that's how you know sometimes people, and she felt that she could do that because Joan allowed her to allow her to have that control over her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Absolutely.
So have you ever been in a toxic relationship before?
Yes, I was in one in college, and it was not good. And it was like I held on to it because we had been together for so long. Like that was all I knew for so long that I overlooked this. Like all my friends were like, "This dude is trash," and I was like, "That's baggy." You know what I mean? I hear what he did. Like that was my boo, and it took me a long time after we graduated. We still kind of dated for a little while, and then I just looked at it differently. I was like, "Yo, we grown now. I can't deal with this." But it's like I understand it.
So nobody liked him? Like everybody thought that you shouldn't be with him?
Most of my friends didn't like him.
And was this like from the beginning, or was it like after you had kind of shared some experiences with them that they felt that way?
It was after I shared some experiences. They were like, I don't like the way he treats you. I don't like the way he talks to you. Because I'm a real sensitive person. I'm a nice person. I don't like conflict and all that. And they're like, he's preying on you because that's how you are.
Yep, that makes sense. I would ask you if you ever been in a toxic relationship, but I won't. I think I definitely have been in a toxic relationship before. That was so inside jokish. So the reason why we can't ask her if she's ever been in a toxic relationship because she's only ever had one relationship. So to say that it's toxic would be throwing her husband under the whole bus.
It's been a very long time.
Because you and your husband been together since you was 12 years old.
12 years old. Yes, girl.
How did I not know that?
I mean, they just had a 17-year anniversary. I'm only 17 years old. They've been married for longer than I've been born.
I didn't even think of it like that. Wow, that's so dope. Oh, okay, sorry.
So I had a toxic relationship in college. It was really bad. And I think a lot of times I do think you're right. I think we miss the red flags. Like you try to like explain stuff away. I think being young often does have a lot to do with it because when you are young, you don't have those life experiences we were talking about, so you don't necessarily see it. But he was really it was to this day, it's everything. It's like textbook for everything that they tell you supposed to avoid. He was super controlling. He didn't want me talking to my friends. He didn't want me hanging around anybody that wasn't him. He never liked the idea of even knowing that I had a life that existed before him. So we couldn't even, you know how you can sit up with somebody and you talk about like, yeah, back in the day I used to do this or this way. Like he never, it was intimidating to him to imagine that I had ever had a life before our relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was pretty bad. It actually ended in me having to start my life all over again because at the end of the relationship, he moved out and took all of my shit.
Are you serious?
Yes, including the hot sauce.
The hot sauce?
Yep.
Maybe he had some chicken. He needs some hot sauce.
He cleaned out the entire pantry. Like I came home and every
no food or nothing.
He took
really
everything.
Petty.
He even took my toiletries. I'm like,
what
so
you
gonna? You a grown man? What you gonna do with my used loofah? What you gonna do with it? Clean your feet?
He must smell it.
Oh, that is so petty. Oh my God. Okay. Moving on. Do we want to talk about the whole Prince hearing?
I think it actually ties in though, right? So we talk about relationships and how we talk about how either you see the red flags or your family members see the red flags and you kind of avoid them or you ignore them.
You talking about Megan and Order?
Don't.
She has. We were watching it last night.
We tried to watch it.
Oh, that's right. We talked through the whole thing. But Selena was saying something like, I mean, she had no idea what the experience would be like. She never Googled the royal family to just understand how deep they are and how they're secret.
Let me tell you something.
All that. So
if Prince Harry asked me out on a date, I mean, this would be young Prince Harry with all his hair, like all of it. And I would be like, okay, I'll go on a date with you, Prince Harry, because you know you're not like your brother. You seem like you got a little spice. You know what I mean? So I definitely would go on a date with Prince Harry. But the only thing is, I will also be up in the middle of the night like this. And I'm like, you know what? I heard his mama had dad because of paparazzi. And I don't understand how she just...
Well, can't we just say that it's the lure of being a princess? Like, that's
I'm still
cool.
not buying it
cool, though. Like, I mean, for, you know, how little girls call them princesses and blah, 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 blah. Like, do you think she might have got lured by that whole ideal of now I'm going to have a royal title and be married with all the stuff that comes with it?
She could have, but don't disguise it in like, oh, I had no clue. Because I think that's bullshit. Yep. I think even if you're not dating the prince, I think most people are lying. Even if you're not as nosy to go through somebody's shit, like you going through somebody's cell phone or you doing whatever. When you meet a person, you ask people around you, like, hey, do you know such and such? Exactly. Like, what do you know about him? Or do you, like people?
Because for her to meet him or to end up going on a date with him, she has to know people that were at least in his circle.
So even if you can't Google him, I would ask, like, what you know about Henry? What are you been up to?
Yeah, even while y'all dating, ask his friends, hey, what's going on? What happened in his last relationship?
Yeah,
you know, just things like that.
Yeah, like those are kind of things that you want to know.
It's just
and it was funny. I was talking to Janie about this earlier when we were talking about the Meghan Markle, And so just as I always have to do something just a little ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think like a true
Yep.
a true black girl would do it? Do you think we would be in there like you said? So you mean to tell me I can't come out? So how long I gotta stay in this palace? You know what I mean? Is it just a little bit, or will we accept it, or will we be in the crown room just trying on all the crowns, wasting our time?
I feel like that's probably how I would be. I'm not gonna push it. I would like to lie and say I'm this profound person where I would be like, let us free, but I probably would just be like in the mirror with my crown and shit on, like, oh my god, I'm a princess.
Right?
Do y'all see this?
Like I said, it's that lure, and so you put up with stuff that you wouldn't necessarily otherwise when you weigh it out. Like, okay, but I'm in this hot palace right now. I got all this, whatever. So.
How long do you think you could do it though? Because as excited and as geek as I think I would be initially, I think at some point I would get bored.
Yeah.
And I would want to do something else. Even when we were kids playing princess and dress up and knight in shining armor, we still grew out of that shit. We still don't play that now. Unless do y'all?
Sometimes. But still, so what about the other aspect? All the other things that happened to her, what she was saying, just how she was discriminated against, how she was never really treated like in comparison to Kate.
I don't understand what did she not expect? I mean, what did she like? I guess I don't have no sympathy.
Like you were a real matter of fact person. Maybe she was just like, you never know what Harry was telling her. Oh, it's gonna be different. I'm gonna watch out for you. I got you, boo, and all.
Well, I honestly think he did. If they're saying is true or whatever the case is, I just think he honestly didn't know what his family was gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe he just didn't care. Some people don't care.
Or he didn't care, or he thought that she was so so fair that. It wouldn't be a problem. And it wouldn't.
She showed up with her black with her dreads.
Did you just say that he thought his wife could pass?
Yeah.
Like, I just ain't gonna tell him, so
He she don't really look all the way black. She just a little bit.
So I think that probably was the case that he didn't expect them to freak out about it. But did you guys see is it Pierce Morgan?
Yes.
Yep.
And he's just mad because I guess the backstory with them, that is, at one point in time, they went on they were out somewhere and he was buying her drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And he paid for her. He said, I paid for her a taxi. She got in a taxi and she didn't know that taxi was used to then go on a date with Prince Harry. So? And then she never called him again. So he's been bitter about that. So that's why when he walked off the stage and that guy was like, you were just mad because
that's just what people do though. Like you haven't ever used your ex-boyfriend car to drive over your new boyfriend's house.
But I don't even think that was her boyfriend.
I don't either.
Oh. Me either. I never did that either.
I don't know why I don't believe it.
But it's just, so what do you think about this aftermath? Like the Queen put out a statement just pretty much saying that, we didn't basically kind of denying what was said. What do you think about this whole cleanup effort? I feel like it's futile. It's like last after the fact type stuff. So I feel like they have been exposed and this is like this huge damage control effort because obviously,
I agree.
It happened.
I just think they're just trying to fix it now. They're just backpedaling. Yeah. They're trying to make it go away.
Their stuff is blown up now. So yeah, anything now, I'm just kind of like.
Do y'all also think that their relationship may have like a little bit to do with like, how like some people like genuinely want to like don't care. They kind of like want to like ruffle some feathers.
I can see Harry being sick of his family and then going on this because he was doing he was chatting it up.
Yeah.
He was doing a lot of talking.
It was a very candid interview. Look, from what we saw.
Right.
From what we saw, very, very candid. So,
because a lot of people will date somebody and they don't care that their family don't like them. A lot of people will date the complete opposite of what their family wants for them.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yep. Like just because I know that's not what you want from me.
Because he said they took all his money. He said he only had his mom's money.
Yep, and she looked out for him.
What was him?
Having gone through where he went and losing his mom,
I'm sure it was still alive.
Right. Like, I know. I feel like he felt some kind of way anyway about being in that position.
Yeah.
And when he saw that stuff happen to his wife, he was like, "Listen, I ain't gonna let it happen to now my wife, now my child. I gotta do something."
And he mentioned that too in the interview, so I'm sure he was probably triggered by it all. It kind of like took him back.
Yeah. What were we talking about the other day or yesterday? Was it the whole Idris Elba thing?
And see, I don't know too much
I don't know
about
all
that
the
story because he's
details.
sort of like my boo. So I don't everything
He's
that
sort of like my
like
boo.
everything you guys are saying is very devastating. It's very
You don't
hard
want to
to
talk
believe.
bad about your one
So
thing.
I don't know anything about
Yes, you do.
what he's doing
Yes, you do.
or what he's alleged to be doing.
There is some alleged behavior that he has been engaging in with various women and just questionable behavior.
What kind of questions though?
I'm trying to remember the details because I was told this story last night. But yeah, apparently there was
But
things going on with him.
it goes into toxic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It all connects with toxic.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I stopped trusting his whole connection with women when he dated K. Michelle. So I think at that point,
That's what it was.
I think at that point we kind of knew that it didn't quite curl all the way over for Idris. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with K. Michelle. I'm just saying I wouldn't fuck her.
Because what they said she had stinky
Yes.
what allegedly Mano said she had
She said she had a bad batch.
but Idris must like it. Maybe that's his fetish.
I think so. No. Yeah. Okay, seriously, in real life, for you to say that that's a fetish, that is a real thing. We were talking about this, how it's people who have like OnlyFans accounts. Stay tuned. But people would buy like socks or underwear that people have worn for like a long time. And I don't care how good you smell and how amazing your natural pheromones are. After a couple of days, they all start to get a little rancid.
Yikes.
Absolutely.
And people would pay for that.
And
so
maybe
you are right, it could be a fetish.
And maybe that's his fetish.
You think he like it?
He probably do.
He like funky chicks.
Or what if he or maybe I think it's a thing where some people can't smell it.
How can you not?
Because some people have really, really strong noses. Like some people can smell anything. Like I know Janice and Ken, they both have a strong nose, so they can smell stuff from a mile away. And then there's some people who can't smell that well.
You got COVID?
Maybe he just ground zero of it, and maybe when he came to Michelle, he didn't smell it because he had lost all his smell and taste.
Ground zero for COVID.
Probably so.
Allegedly, it just ground zero for COVID. We don't know. We can neither confirm nor deny whether he was the first victim. But maybe he didn't know, or maybe. Oh, I'll say something awful. Maybe it's kind of like how people say like that some people are used to stink. Like people who like some people who don't like how there's like some nationalities who like don't wear deodorant, right?
Okay.
So so they don't never wear deodorant, but obviously if you don't wear deodorant, you stink. But they don't know it stink
because they're used to that smell.
They think it's normal.
They just have a natural.
Where you just from again?
But that's different. Okay, so private areas are different than like armpits.
England.
Because fish is different than underarm musk. Like it's the difference. It's not the same. And you can't tell me if my vagina was smelling like fish that I cannot sit here and do this podcast and not smell it myself.
I would tell you it smelled like fish.
I know, but if you can
we
smell
was
it,
all trying to sit here. We was all trying to sit here and figure out who was baking chocolate chip cookies an hour ago. So I'm sure we would all be sitting here asking the same question, like who opened up the can of tuna fish?
Remember when I had that cauliflower? Hold up. Remember when I had that cauliflower? Mm-hmm. And y'all was walking around like, and y'all was all acting because y'all was looking like as y'all thought it was me. It was me, but it was the cauliflower. Mm-hmm. Remember that?
But we ain't heard our
tell me. I knew.
No, we said something.
I knew it was a cauliflower.
No, I just knew something.
Y'all was like, hey, somebody.
Yeah,
nobody came up.
Nobody. It was, but then at that point, just like it would be Salita's job to step up and say, I am the tuna fish, it's your job to step up and say, I am the cauliflower. So that we know. Because we're going to say something. We're not going to sit here and say nothing. Someone is going to say
I
something.
saw y'all whispering. I was like, yeah, it's cauliflower. It's good.
And
And it smells like that to others, but it was delicious.
I think
but
broccoli smells
the
bad
funny
like that
part
too.
is everybody kept walking past. What is that smell? What is that?
So we don't want people to be
It was
around
so-
when we smell
it was
bad
so
then.
good.
We just gonna keep asking. And it's gonna get louder and louder and,
And it's
louder.
not going to end.
Like, okay, now you gotta start asking questions when you start grabbing people. Now I know you smell it. You don't smell that.
Did everybody watch Coming to America? We all watched Coming to America last Friday. Let's talk about it. What did you guys think about it?
I thought it was really, 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 really good. I really enjoyed it. I laughed. I laughed a lot. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Go
Selena.
Well, I mean, I can't say. So everybody knows that when we go to her residence on their couch, I have a seat, right?
Oh, that's right.
I have my seat on the couch, and people
Yeah.
know. Even her father knows. He said, "I know when you come over, I can't sit there."
Yep.
So if your father knows that that's my seat,
Yep.
I think everyone should know that's my seat. Okay. I couldn't watch the movie because somebody was in my seat,
Well,
so I didn't like it. And I told them this movie is not funny. Because I mean, I
you
was
had
in
an attitude the whole time.
Yes, I was in that seat like, oh my god, because it was an uncomfortable space, but where I was sort of just sitting like this because there was so many people on that couch.
And in true fashion, it would be the colonizer that came through and stole your damn seat.
And stole my seat. And I was like, I'm not gonna keep. I'm just gonna keep rolling with it.
She
I'm
was
not-
mad.
I was gonna say, no, master, just take the seat.
As if you ain't got enough. We here watching Coming to America. They have gone from Wakanda to Zamunda, and you still haven't learned that you can't take my shit. They don't care.
So I had to
We
watch.
had the African outfits on and everything.
I know.
Straight to
We did so good. We came through. We had all of our African attire on. We was ready. It was a good time. I really enjoyed
I
it.
did.
I think another
Lots
piece
of cameos.
is, but the first one had a lot of cameos too. But another piece, in addition to you having your seat stolen, I think you made the mistake and you was on social media, so you had already heard the naysayers on
Yes,
social
I
media
did.
talking
That's
about
true.
how
That's
trash
true.
it was.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
There's
true.
a lot of negativity.
That's true.
I was
But
trying
then-
to just.
I saw it. I watched it multiple. I watched it after that,
Mhm.
and I actually laughed. I was laughing. I thought it was funny. Wesley Snipes was hilarious.
Yeah.
It looks like something that, even how ignorant it is, I can see us doing that as
All
black
day.
people. I can definitely see someone doing that.
Definitely.
The dancing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I can see somebody's uncle that's just like him.
And I can see why there is benefit in having your funeral while you still alive.
Oh my god. In the beginning.
Yeah, you get a front row seat. Don't you want to see?
That was dope though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though. I don't know. I gotta take that back. I only want to see.
What if
my
you-
shit gonna be lit
Well,
like
that's
his?
that.
Because what if you open your eyes and like, why nobody ain't?
It's just like giving people their flowers while they're here.
Yes.
Like just being celebrated while you're here.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm like, if your shit gonna be boring, I don't want to be there for it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see it. Or what if somebody come wearing something horrible and you like, why did you? Then now you at your own funeral. Like, why did this bitch wear this outfit?
Or they in front of you like, oh, you know what? I just feel so bad. I loved you. Nigga, what?
No, you didn't.
You did not. You
No,
didn't
you
even
did
like
not.
me.
You only here to make sure I was really dead.
Or they be like, oh my God. What do black people say?
Nice.
Ooh, that bite. What do black people see when they look at that cat?
They
Ooh,
did
they did a good
good.
job.
Who did that body?
So what if you come up there and they be like,
They did
ooh, look at her face. Ooh, why she got that hole in the side of her head? Nigga, I got shot. What do you think they was gonna do?
Well, by the time I get there, y'all, when they start asking y'all who did the body, y'all gonna be able to tell them it was Dr. Miami.
Okay.
Y'all gonna already know.
I
Y'all gonna
had to
already
put
know.
this down
Y'all gonna know who did the
because
body.
I was gonna spit this drink out.
And y'all can go back to the beginning of the podcast episode, and y'all can run down the list. And I already told y'all everything that he did. So y'all don't have to worry about who did the body because I'm gonna let y'all know who did it.
What? You ignorant. I was about to do it too. Tiff do it, entertain it, but I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not.
Tiff, you do always
Always
entertain.
entertained.
You do. You have follow-up questions and everything.
And I just sit here like, girl, really?
All interested.
She's.
Serious.
I am pretty ridiculous. So.
Okay. Any other topics, ladies?
No, I think we good. I want to know in the comments how people felt about the first episode. Yep. We're gonna be here every week.
Let us know.
Chatting it up on the Real Ish Radio.
Because honestly, I mean, we like y'all criticism, but I mean,
I'm not gonna care.
I mean, you're not gonna make me cry nothing about it.
No,
you know.
I'm still going to work on Monday.
Yep.
Either way.
You said I'm still want to go work.
I'm still going to work on Monday. It's cool.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us.
You.
This is Sistaz Talking Ish on the Real Ish Radio Network, and we will see you next week.
It's been real.